go for it, or else I'll tell you the next way for this base for the exercise. Now, all the tables, if you see the Excel, I have created multiple sheets. All the sheets that I've created has come into different sizes, split and trim, upper, lower, merge sheet, whatever it is. Now, what I want to do now? Let's. Yesterday, I have given you what are the capabilities, but we didn't go through every single tool that is available there. Okay. Now let's understand. Well, let's try to go into multiple tools that are available to us. Okay. Now in this home tab we have in this tabs we have transform tools and column tools. Transform and column. Most of the things that you can do, everything that you can do in terms of Power Query will be here. Transform and add column. What is the difference between transform and column? So as a name suggests, if you use transform tools, any tool that is given here, it will change the column. It will transform whatever you want to split the column, you can split the column. You want to extract the column, you can do it. You can do whatever with respect to that column. You're now in add column. Most probably the similar set of tools are here as well, but it will add different columns. We will see the difference right now in a minute. Now, what tools mostly we use? Okay, understand here. You have table tools. Here you can make something as a header, something that can do here. Now your any column you can make it in fill, replace value, all the things that you can do in any column that are given. Now here the things get more interesting. So columns, there may be a name, a text. Basically all these are text. This is a text. Now we have column, number column. So this is numbers. Everything that is there to manipulate numbers that are there in the number column. Then let's say any date sheet, date. No. Let's say there is a date here. Then you have your date column. All the things that are available in order to transform. There are text, all the features that you the all the tools to change the text are here. To change the numbers are here. Change the date are here. As I said, in the add column, you have similar things. If you want to change the text, there is text module. If you want to change the numbers, number module, date and time, date and time. The only difference being transform will only change the existing column. When you add a column, it will change the whole thing. Okay, that is the difference. We'll figure out for a few things right now. Now, first thing first, what do you see? What do you see? What do you see and what can we do? Come on, guys. Sales. All right. Now, well, how are the shipping addresses? How are they divided? How are they divided? Everyone, keep answering. So you have a basic the same example. I think we have done it in Excel. Something is separated by a comma. So how do you separate it? We use a comma as a delimiter. Basically, if you have remembered our
Delimiters.
use delimiters to split data. In the same way, I'm selecting the column. I'm going to split column. Now, split column. Now I know there is comma. So that means there is a delimiter here. I'm going to hit delimiter. Now, what is a delimiter? It already understood there is a comma. Then I'm going to click OK. Now, it has done its job. It is Pimpri, Pune, Maharashtra. It has done what it is trying to do. This is how you split the data now. And then again, I'm going to say rename this. Where is rename? This is what is all this is a state. Here it's Lucknow, Pune, Hyderabad. All these are basically city. This is let's say this is the address. Okay. Now I think there is a small mistake that happened. This should be Thane. Thane should be in city. Maharashtra should be in state. I don't know what happened there. But let's try to figure out later. Let's say here, Thane, Maharashtra. Now this is something that is missing. There is no locality here. That's the reason we didn't get it. But how I was able to see this, let's say this table tree, if I click it, it will go back to that step. That's why if you see the first thing is the source, where did the data come from? If you see, if you expand this, it came from Excel workbook. This is my directory. This is the file name. So this is where the file came from. Navigation. So what it does in navigation? It try to basically these are automatic things that the software has done. Change type. Now, what is a change type? It understand ABC is basically a text, but it understand these are numbers are given. So it has changed it into a number. So if you change type, it's a whole number. It has converted itself into a whole number. This is how you can do a split. You can do a split with a delimiter. With a delimiter, let's say you don't want something, you can always delete the column. You can hide. You can delete the column. Now let's say I'm gonna. If you want to undo it, usually what we keep doing is we keep hitting Control Z to undo. But here there are steps that are given. If you want to undo something, you delete the step that you don't want, then it will undo. Okay. Now let's say I only want state nothing else. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove other columns. There is remove other columns. It will remove everything other than that cell. Now, what are the other things? So most of the time, whatever you want to do, that is there in the right click. So that's the reason I use right click a lot. It is very useful because all the time you don't need advanced tools. The simple tools what we use every single day are already available in my right click. So I keep using this. Now, anything else that you can do with this table? I'll remove this null. Null is something that I don't want. All right, cool. Anything else that I can do in this? I didn't understand. Yes. No. Yes. So understand. So let's say I'll give you a basic example here. So we have data from, let's say, thousand places. Values null with something. Now let's say I know that this is something that is a state. There is something that is missing here. So what I try to do is I'll replace null with Maharashtra. Huh? That way I'll try to do some other extra steps to make sure I pull this out here. So that's why that is one way around. But depending on data to data, you need to understand, can I delete it? If I cannot delete it, what can I do to do it? Okay. There. This is first thing that I've seen. Split column. Split is something that I'm using. Now we have format. So what happens most of the time is if the data is inputted with the number, a lot of people have used to input the data. Someone writes starting capital, someone use all capital. There are multiple ways people use capital, small letters, all these things. Now, the question is, how do you make sure you standardize everything? So that is what we're going to see. Now, here is the one thing that I want to see is check the data. What do you see? What do you see here? There is a mistake in this data. Apart from small letter being a capital letter,
Capital letters,
I didn't get it.
small letters, yes. And symbol.
Yes, that I'm only saying that is what we're trying to do. But there is another mistake in this.
Maybe the header came into the data.
The header. What is happening with the header?
They came into the data.
Yes, the first row is basically the header. So this is a very common error that Power BI does. Sometimes now we are importing from the Excel. So when in the Excel, if the table was not defined, the table was not defined in the Excel, the table was not designed. It doesn't understand it is a header. It just understand different columns are there. I'm just importing the columns. So it creates the header. But what we understand is the first row that we see is the header. So this is a very common thing that you keep seeing. So what you do is there's something called use first row as headers. Just click it, boom, that's it. It's a very common thing that keeps happening. So that's one thing. Now let's say how do I change this? Now I click this, I'm going to click format. Let's say I want capitalize each word. I can do that. I'm going to do the same thing. If I want to do select multiple columns, I can hit control and click on multiple columns, capitalize each word. If you want to capitalize uppercase, you can do that, but I prefer this. Understand? Now you have a consistent data. The data has a same format. Understood?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. Now let's figure out different other things that are there. There is extract, first character, last characters, all these things. Let's figure out a way. Now this is a very good example to understand the difference between transform and add column. Now, what do you see here? What is the first mistakes that you can see?
Same again. Header.
The header. So that's the first thing that I'm going to do. Order ID. Now, how's the order ID? Can you see how the year is there? What else is there? It's a date. I don't think so. It is a date. There is a location. There is a location. There is hyphen, year, hyphen, and the sequence number what the company is using. So I need to extract data. Let's say I need to extract this year. How do I do it? Let's say there is an extract. and say I need to extract some, let's say I need to extract the CA. The CA I need to extract. So what I'm going to do is the first characters. How many characters? Two characters. I'm going to click OK. Now, what happened? What happened?
We lost data.
We lost the data. That is not something that I want. I'm going to delete this. If this is happening, what I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate column. I'm going to extract data. I'm going to say first characters. I'm going to say 2. Did I get the right format?
Yes.
But is this necessary? No. Now we are, what is it? Now we are doing a transform. A transform means you're changing the existing data. Now there is another column called add column. Here the same thing happens. Extract first characters to. Okay. Now what happened?
Okay, like it added new column instead of like removing the existing one.
Yes. So that is the difference between transform and add column. Transform always try to change the values in the existing column. Add columns adds a new column, doesn't change the existing column that we have selected. Next, what are we going to do? Let's create the order ID extension. Extract last characters. How many characters are there?
Five.
Sorry, I selected the wrong. Last characters 5. Okay. Now, next thing I want the year. How can I do this?
There's a
How can,
between delimiters.
yes, between text, between delimiters. What are the delimiters? Hyphen and hyphen. Now, what are things that you can change here?
We can keep in ascending or descending, like with
That's
respect to
fine,
year.
man. Yeah, that is not much. What is one thing that is, you know, there's a mistake there. Okay, let's rename things. That's one. This is year. This is CA, maybe a location. I don't know. Next, this is ID. Next, what are the things? What is, if you see, the first thing that automatically that does is there is a source, there is navigation, there is change the type. Now we'll go to the last. What is something that is missing still? What are few things that is a mistake there? What is it? It is a year, or I'm gonna change the type. This is basically not this is not what do you say? It's not a name. It's not a name. It is basically a year. So what I try to do is if I keep the date, what it I try to do with when I keep the date is first month first. That is something it tries to do. But now it's fine. I'm just make sure change the data type here as well. It's still saying a text. It should be a whole number. Make sure the data type is changed. That's one thing that you always keep to do. Now you have the year right now. You have the year right now. Now let's come back this later once we no let's understand. Here you have year. You have a number. Once you click on this, check the things that is available and changing. This is a text. ABC is a text. ABC is a text. That means the data type is text. If you see only the text from text, the module that says text will highlight. Anything that you can do with number, nothing is highlighted. From date, usually this also doesn't highlight. Now, if I go into the numbers, then the numbers, whatever you can do with numbers get highlighted. If you go into the date function, then everything that you can deal with the date highlights. So that is the reason always making sure the correct data type is given. The correct data type is given, that is entered. In that way, the transform tools, whatever tools that are available with respect to text or a number or a date or a year or a location, all these things can only be can you only be accessed once you give the correct data type. If you don't give the correct data type, these will not open. So the data type is very important. Here there is a date. Now everything that you can deal with the date is given here. Now let's say I want a year. uh, I have created, go to add column, date. I want to extract year from this. I want to extract year. So I'm going to say year. Now I want to extract month from this. I can extract month. I want to extract quarter. I can extract quarter. Everything is in first quarter itself. So it doesn't make much sense. Year, month, everything is in first month, so it doesn't make much sense either. So my saying is always make sure you change the data type. You change the data type as you are editing. Once you have changed the data, then only load the data into Power BI. This is one mistake we keep doing a lot. They are not changing a data. It's a very common mistake, so do not do it. Then let's go to the next one. How do then what is the next one is basically merging columns. How can I merge columns? I'm selecting all the columns, one, two, three. I'm going to go transform. I'm going to go into merge columns here. Separator is a space. I want to use a space. Merged. New column name, full name. Boom. That's it. But if I don't want to merge column, transform it, I can again go to add column. I can select multiple columns. I can go merge column, merge separator is space, name it, calling full name. Now, same thing again, I don't see the header. So what I'm going to do, home, use first row as header. Rename this as full name, last name, first name, prefix. Looks good.
Yes.
I don't want all the things that are before it. So I'm going to say remove other columns. Done. Now I am just showing you things that are available here. Now the thing is, I want you to practice this. I want you to practice these things. I am just telling you what are the tools that are available here to manage the data. You have to decide what you want to do. Now, here, let's understand this data. Let's try to figure out. What do you see? Okay, what can I do now? Go to format. Now we have sale, we have quantity, we have discount, we have profit. Now, can we create something here? Everything looks good. Yes, there are numbers, there are quantity, there is discount, there's profit. Everything looks good. So what can we do? Sale, co- quantity, discount, profit. In order to get profit, what do you need? What is profit?
Like on top of what we invest.
On the top of what we missed. In the sense,
Like uh, if you keep invest 10 rupees, like if you get 11, like 1 rupee, the difference is called profit.
okay. Now let's say we have the sale price. We have the sale price. Now I am assuming this 1,000 rupees is a sale for the quantity of two. Now, can I get a cost price of a bush? If I want to get the cost price of a bush, what would I do?
Multiplier.
Multiplier.
Selling not minus profit.
I didn't get it. Yes, you can divide it. Then what we get here, cost price of everything. So let's say this is the cost of everything. Bush is 500, gearbox. You have sale price. Once you have the quantity, you have the sale price. So 500 into 2 is 1000. 500 into 3, 1500. We got the sale price. Then there is something discount profit he already gives us. If even though he haven't gives us the profit, we can calculate the profit. Now, how did I get this cost price? How did I get this cost? I have I have basically divided the sale price by quantity. How did I do it? I went to add column. I've selected sale price. I've selected the quantity. There are some arithmetic operations that are given here. This is what you can do. You can add, multiply, subtract, divide, modulus, percentage of whatever you want to do. What I did, I basically divided it. Then I got my cost price. So this is how you can do a basic what do you say, multiple arithmetic operations, multiplication, division, because a lot of times they don't give you all the details. They don't give you the profit, they don't give you the cost price. All these columns are not given. You have to create those columns for yourself. Let's say this profit is not given, you have to create the profit column. The loss column is not given, you have to create. How do you create? You create by using this formulas, basic arithmetic formulas. You can create it. So that is how there is text columns, that the everything that you can do with text are here, everything that you can do with numbers are here, everything that you can do with date and time are here. Now let's understand what are the one more important thing that is there. That is basically data comes from multiple sources. Data comes a year by year, month by month. Sometimes you need to combine all these things. So far everything is clear in terms of what is available.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Now the next thing is basically merging and appending the queries. So let's understand. Let's say yes, this one. So there is sales data. If you see, there is sales data of a company. Now there's 2017 data, 2018 data, 2019 data, 2020 data. The problem is the data is divided into multiple different sheets. I need to combine them. How do I do this? So let's say I'm gonna say new source, which by the way, you are with what I'm doing is usually what happens, you import the data using Power BI and load it, right? I can also enter new data from here too. That's not a problem. Now, where is this data? If I select Excel, what happens is I can only select one thing. I cannot hit control and select multiple things. In this case, what I do is new source. I'll say everything is in a folder. Every data is in a folder. Then I'll say I'll connect. What happens is, what is this folder path? Hmm, where is everything? I hate this. Hold on, give me a second. I'll close. I'll close and apply. From here, I already have the path. Let it load, let it load. Get data from a folder. Why? Where is this folder? See, see, where is this folder? Where is this folder? Come on. I hate this. Documents. Where are documents? Documents. Essential training. Power query. Where is Power query? And this one. Okay. All right. Ah, I got it. Now there are multiple things that are there. Now it is seeing combine and transform, combine and load. So what I'm going to say, I'm going to combine and transform data here. So what happens is, it is saying the sample file. Now we are assuming all the columns in all the years are same. In saying if you change one sheet, everything will be same. If everything gets included. I mean, let's say I'm changing 2017 data, 18, 19, 20 will be added. This is, I'm going to see, I'm going to check the 2017 data. Okay. So it is saying sample file is this. I'm going to change this and everything should follow the same thing. Let's let it open up. Now let's say refresh data. Now a lot of things are happening. Previously we didn't see all these things. Previously all these things that few things that happened by automatically. So basically understand that what the power query is doing is, it is creating some parameters and creating a sample file. We have selected the sample file. Selector said, hey, take 2017 as a sample file. Then what happens is, you can transform the data. Whatever you do here, everything will be added. So that is how, if you see, everything will be added. Now you also see that After 2017, 2018 data is already also added. The same way, if you go down and down and down, 2019 data will be added. So it assumes all the columns are same. So I'll just add it up and give it to you. This is how, if you have multi-year data, it everything get connected into one query. Now let's come back to here. What do you see? What are the different things that you can change? You tell me. Now let's clean this data. Let's clean this data. What do you see? You want to change the customer ID. Now I'll tell you one simple thing. First do the filter stuff, then go into the transform stuff. First go into null, something that doesn't make sense, then go into the transform. So you tell me, I'll open this up. Does everything looks good?
Yes.
Okay, so there's not much to do. How about here? Are there any odd ones out?
Yeah, the last one.
Boom. I don't want that. Cool. I removed it. Here, everything looks good. Anything else that needs to be changed?
No, sir.
Okay. The numbers. Everything looks good.
Yes.
Pretty much everything is pretty much same. The XXX was the only thing that was messing this up. Now you tell me what are the things that I need to do here. And we already said we will split this. How do we split this? Okay. Guide me. How do I do it?
Extract
Extract between delimiters. How?
before before
The thing is, add column extract. But are you extracting or are you splitting the data? By delimiter. What is a delimiter? It is already understood. This is hyphen is there. Boom, done. Then this is basically, why is it loading? So I'm going to rename this customer ID. I'm going to rename this as customer name. Next, tell me what I can do. What can I do? Customer name. Yes, that's fine. That's fine. That is not a very big thing. You can change it. But now that my understanding is what else can we do to clean this data or transform this data? What do you see here?
Source name.
What can we? Yes, but why is that important? Why is that important? We have basically got the data. We have taken the data from 4 different tables. Every table is comes from a different year. So why is that name important now? Yes, the year, it is giving us the year. That is very important to us. So how do I take out the data from there? Okay, tell me how to do it. Now understand. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to split the data? What are you trying to do there? Do you need the order date dot xlxs? Here we split the data because we need the customer ID and the customer name. Here, do you need this order data dot xlsx? Does it make any use? Is there any use for you? Then you don't need to split the data. You need to extract the data. Understood? Understood the difference. Now, how do I extract?
So character, first character.
First characters, how many characters? 4. Now, also you need to design. Are you transforming data or adding new data? Here I can just transform data. I don't need the add new column. I'm gonna say rename it here. Next, can we? What else can we do here? We have order date, ship date, shipping or order status, revenue, cost. Mm, what else can we get? What else can we do? Get here. What is the mistake that I have done? I have subtracted order date minus ship date. That's why it is giving me the negative values.
Subtract from ship to order.
What I should do is I need to ship to date. I'll select this first and say subtract this. Then you'll get your right answer. Next, anything else that we can do? You have revenue, you have cost. What can we get from this?
Profit.
Yes,
Profit.
let's go for it. Revenue minus cost is subtract. One problem that I am seeing here is first change the data to decimal number. Next, subtract. What is this? This is the profit.
Profit.
Earlier, I couldn't do subtraction. Why? I wanted to
Because
subtract revenue minus cost, but I couldn't do it. Why?
maybe
Because
different data type.
this data type and this data type was different. So what I did, I made this revenue the data type. If you see this, I made this revenue before this. This was a whole number. I made it into a decimal number. Then these two data types are same. Then I was able to do the subtraction. So this is how we do this. I hope you got understood what we are trying to do. I want you guys to practice hard. And I would say not only practice with the data I have given, also take multiple datas. Then tomorrow again we're gonna set few more things in Power Query. We're gonna go more deeper into Power Query. Cool?